I'm the founder and CEO of the Girls CEO Connection, as realized the director of Realizing a Vision conferences and the author of Realizing a Vision, Your Toolkit for Success, Words of Wisdom for Young Female Entrepreneurs. And I want to thank the Voice of Women for having me here to do the interview. I wanted to be an entrepreneur or own a business when I was in high school or college, and I had no mentors, nobody to help me do it, no role models. And yes, I could start a business plan and do the budget and all of that, which is available now today in so many ways for young women. However, nothing's done about the soft skills, and I learned that from successful women entrepreneurs over the years who said, this is what's helped us become successful. And I did them in our breakout sessions for the Realizing Vision conferences. We did a conference at Stanford, and one of the professors said, well, this is all well and good, but you need mentoring. So we went back to Southern California. I talked to my advisory board. I talked to my council of young ambassadors, who also said the same thing. And we had been interviewing veteran entrepreneurs, and they said, well, we want younger entrepreneurs. And that's what we did. And I started having them find the young female entrepreneurs. So my real motivation was encouraging, motivating, and empowering or engaging Gen Z high school girls to become entrepreneurs. Yes, I do. Women are less likely to be egotistical than men, and are less likely to get their egos get in the way of what's going on in their businesses. That makes it easier for people to help them. Women are more honest and open about what's going on in their businesses, and it makes it, and others also makes it easier for people to help them. Women go into negotiations with a win-win attitude rather than beating the opposition. Women are more aware and emotionally intelligent about the human side of business. They are known for having family-friendly policies and, often flex schedules and professional and educational development opportunities for staff. This gives them an advantage of connecting with customers, staff, vendors, suppliers, and the community at large. Getting to the point in business meetings and discussions rather than talking about the weather, politics, sports, what's outside that's going on in the business, or what's going on in the economy and the weather. I think I mentioned that. I look at the United States, first of all, and we've come a long way. If you look at what's going on in the Congress and Senate now, there are more women becoming leaders. There are more women becoming governors and also mayors. We have a vice president that's a woman. We had Hillary Clinton, who was Secretary of State. We had Condoleezza Rice, who was Secretary of State. So I think the United States is coming along better than it was 30 years ago, but not as good as it should be. And you see more and more corporations being led by women. Not that they're a Mark Zuckerberg, but I think we need more women founders, of course, in their leading businesses. However, there's more women coming along the path, and I think, in the next few years, you're going to see these millennials taking a big step and becoming more leaders, more leadership, and raising more money. Because in the United States, it costs a lot of money to run for office. I think you'll find more women running and wanting to run and getting ahead. Now, as far as the world, well, I do know this, there's only 24.5% total world parliamentarians are women. And by the beginning of 2020, women were leading just 20 of 193 nations and occupying a quarter or more in only 4 parliaments around the world. And believe it or not, this was Rwanda, Cuba, Bolivia, and the United Arab Emirates. So we need more women worldwide to be running for office and becoming officials, because that's where laws are going to change. They're become more women friendly, and it's going to take political institutions to be democratically legitimate and responsive to all women, all citizens, by having women in leadership roles. I don't see a lot of changes in the world, but I do see a lot of attitude changes in the United States, and even young girls wanting to run for president more so than ever before. So I do think, I think the United States is coming right well. After 30 years, we could do more, like have a woman president. The rest of the world needs a lot of help and needs to come much further. Now, yes, I did. And in fact, it just wasn't me. It was all the women in our executive training program. And there was one young man. Now, we were all, I'd say, between 25 and 30 years old. And I don't think any of us had ever run into that. This was actually in the 70s. Now you're told to go in and negotiate your salary. Don't pay any attention to what anybody else is saying. You go in and negotiate your own salary, even though HR people would tell you can't do that. You can. However, in the 70s, women didn't do that. And in fact, I didn't know what to say, even though we were all upset. All of us thought we would get fired if we opened our mouths about him getting more money than us. And he wasn't doing anything more. As far as a job goes, I probably did more than he did. But as an assistant or an associate buyer in the menswear area, they gave him more money. The question is, I worked in the fashion industry as well as marketing for a while. And what was it like? Well, it was really public relations and special events. That I did in the fashion industry in LA, as well as New York City. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. And then I also produced a guide called the Fashion Liaisons, your marketing guide for fashion journalists, retailers, media, stylists, an international guide, which I sold to fashion designers. Well, altogether, I think the Me Too movement has made the working conditions for women and girls much better. As more and more women and girls stand up for each other, in the workplace and schools, it will become safer for them. And I think the schools are now taking a hard look at what had gone on with them, as well as the working places, the large corporations, the magazines, where everything was going on. But it's going to take women and girls to stand up and say something about it, and then the men who want to support it. It's not just going to happen overnight. We've got to do it together. I don't do it on my own, right? Or I should say, for economic empowerment worldwide in their Peace Through Business program, which we have a lot of, training that we go through and information, and we start in January through March, and then the women turn in their business plans, and the organization decides who's got the best business plans and can come to the United States to continue their studies for 2 weeks. Now, they didn't do it last year, and we don't know if they're going to do it this year. However, the best way to go to empower women in disadvantaged countries is to go with an organization. You aren't going to be able to do it yourself, and you need to find somebody you can do it with. And like Rwanda has come a long ways with their women entrepreneurs. There's another organization out of New York City that has been around for a long time. They know how to work with the governments. They know how to work with the women. You have to learn the culture. You have to learn how to deal with the families, or what these women are dealing with families, are girls. So it's not an easy thing, and it's not really you on your own can do it. The empowerment comes from organizations. And if you want to get involved with that, you might find the organization and get involved as a volunteer or giving money, maybe get on the board of directors. And like myself, I volunteered through somebody I knew to be a mentor. I would love to go to Afghanistan, but it's not going to be possible. And I would say most mentors don't get to go anymore. So that's what I suggest to do. If you really want to get involved and see it happen, you've got to find an organization in your country. Like there's a few in the United States, basically out of New York City. The Institute for the Economical Empowerment of Worldwide actually is in Oklahoma City. Because I see what entrepreneurship has done for women, low income, women in poverty, women that are single mothers, then women that have lost their jobs, or during the COVID, they needed to pivot and start something else. I've seen it happen to build businesses online, which is really wonderful now that women can do. They can do it at home. They can build it where they have control over the business rather than others having control over them and what they sell. And they can learn it through other organizations. And then I've seen how single mothers in places like the inner city of Boston who go to the Center for Women in Enterprise can bring themselves out of poverty and bring their children to good education and help others around them. The same with, in California, the Coachella Valley Women's Business Center. It can be helping women business owners in Southern California start and grow businesses. They could have had another business or a business they already have, and they want to, get it better, grow it better. It could be in the tourist business. It could be in home improvement. Whatever it is, these women are energetic. They can help their economy. They can help their global economy, but also help their states, and helping themselves and helping their children. That's one thing worldwide with women entrepreneurs. So that's why I continue to want to inspire them, because I know what entrepreneurship can do for women and how it can bring them economic self-sufficiency. Well, the first one I would suggest is my book that's coming out in the fall called Realizing a Vision, Your Toolkit for Success, Words of Wisdom for Young Female Entrepreneurs. And this book is not about writing a business plan. This book is about the tips and traits and characteristics and skills of highly accomplished women entrepreneurs and business owners, and what they say have made them successful. But remember, my book will be out in the fall. You could learn more about it on the website www.girlsceoconnection.com and under the book section. And by the way, I had 4 high school girls that helped edit it this last time. Don't give up. Keep moving. You can go have problems that you can go around. I should say challenges. Go around, go over, go above, but never get up and don't take no for an answer. That's something that too many people just stop. Well, there's ways that you can get around that and find the ways. Find what people are looking for that you can work on it and come together and make a decision, but don't take no for an answer. There's no reason to. And too many young people think that's what you should do, just give up. That will be, 2 things you can do that keep going, and actually those can be used in anything outside your business. So that's the words of wisdom I have, because those are so important, as well as find a good partner if you want a partner, somebody that you trust, somebody that you go along with, because it's like a marriage. So you need somebody that you can trust, somebody that will work with you for quite a while, that won't undermine you, and that's the best thing. Those are my words of wisdom. Thank you, and women. Thank you to the Voice of Women for having me today.